Also commonly called Mormons. I call it Mormons because it's just way too long to type in. If I have to type in Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints 100 times, this is going to way too long, so I just call it Mormon faith.
Copy and paste, man.
I know, copy and paste. The Mormon Church was founded by Joseph Smith Jr. Brigham Young left the Mormon Church after Smith died. You guys ever hear of Brigham Young University?
It's about moon.
That's the largest Mormon university. The basketball team usually makes the...
Let's see. Who went to that one? Who went to that college?
I think it's in Salt Lake City, Utah, be my guess. I don't exactly know where it's at. That's where their headquarters is. That's where most Mormons are. It makes the most sense.
The person who writes Twilight is Mormon.
So those are the two major founders. Smith was the founder, and then Brigham Young followed it up. Just a little bit about the founder, Joseph Smith. Joseph Smith Jr. was born in Sharon, Vermont, December 23rd, 1805. He was the fourth child of Lucy and Joseph Smith Sr.
My camera.
Alright, guys, can you listen up? Put the cameras away.
I'm making a video of it.
She's obsessed with Mormons.
Okay.
No, I'm not.
Joseph Smith Sr., just to give you a little bit about him, just to kind of get an understanding of Joseph Smith Jr. a little bit better. Joseph Smith Sr., he was a mystic. He was a man who spent much of his time playing with peep stones or peak stones and divining rods. The stones were supposed to be magical rocks, and when placed inside a hat, if they partially darkened, there were lost items underneath that hat, in the ground there, or then the divining rods were magical sticks that were to lead the holder to lost treasure or to water. Joseph Smith Jr. was also involved in this stuff with his dad, and would go with his dad to go dig for gold treasures and stuff like that. You ever hear pirates? Is it Jason Kidd? Jason Kidd was a pirate. I think it was Jason Kidd. They were looking for Jason Kidd's lost treasure.
Awesome.
Not all the time, but sometimes. In 1820, Joseph Smith Jr. went off into some woods to pray about which church he should join. He's 17 years old, and he's trying to make a decision what church he should join. He supposedly received a vision in which God the Father and God the Son materialized and spoke to him. And they told him not to join any church, but that they were going to use him to restore the one true faith. The prophet is referring to Joseph Smith, because that's how they refer to him, as the prophet, Joseph Smith, or just the prophet. He recorded this incident in great detail in his book, The Pearl of Great Price. Also, the writings of Joseph Smith, section 2, verses 1 through 25, if you want to read the story of that incident. However, it was not until 1823, 3 years later, when he was 20, with the appearance of the angel Moroni at the quaking Smith's bedside, that Joseph began his relationship to the fabulous, what is known as the Golden Plates, which was to become the Book of Mormon. This story is told in The Pearl of Great Price, the writings of Joseph Smith, section 2, verses 29 to 54. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the angel Moroni. Is basically a glorified son of one Mormon. That's where the word Mormon comes from. So the angel Moroni's parent, I believe, or dad, his name was Mormon, and that's how they got their nickname, the Mormon faith. Not that really matters a whole lot, but some of you guys might be wondering where the word came from. In 1827, Smith claimed to receive the golden plates, upon which the Book of Mormon is alleged to have been written. I put a lot of the words presumably and alleged and supposedly and stuff like that, because I don't believe a lot of stuff. Shortly after this historic find, which was unearthed in the hill Cumorah, near Palmyra, New York, Smith began to translate the reformed Egyptian hieroglyphics inscribed on the golden plates. Since he couldn't technically read ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, he used these two magical stones called the Urim and Thummim to read. Suppose these stones gave him magical powers where he could translate these ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics on these golden plates that he supposedly found in this hillside. Supposedly, and this is where he comes up with this, is supposedly after Jesus died and rose again, he appeared to some Native American tribes, and Jesus gave these tribes the golden plates that contained the teachings and the faith that Jesus wanted people to practice here on earth.
Is that their Jesus?
Huh?
Their Jesus?
Yeah, supposedly our Jesus too. They consider themselves part of the church. Okay. But most churches don't consider them part of the church because they have so many views that go against the basic doctrines of the Christian faith. Most of us, our Bible teaches that once Jesus died, he appeared 7 different times, then he ascended up into heaven. Now he sits at God's right hand, hearing our prayers, preparing a place for us, and someday he's going to come back and take us home. They say that he, for some reason, came over to North America, which wasn't discovered for thousands of years later, and gave these golden plates. Why would God, here's the question, why would Jesus give Native Americans golden plates with Egyptian hieroglyphics on it? Could they read it?
No.
I don't know any American tribes that used any Egyptian hieroglyphics. If anything, just Inca or something, one of the major tribes from Mexico or whatever, they're hieroglyphics. But, so there's some fallacies there, because apparently the Native Americans wouldn't know how to practice true faith because they couldn't read the plates. From 1827 to 1829, Smith then translated the golden plates into what is now known as the Book of Mormon. During this time, Joseph and his wife lived in his father-in-law's house. One day, Oliver Cowdery came to visit, and he was converted to the Mormon faith and soon became what is known as a scribe, who wrote down what Joseph Smith said was on the plates. What's interesting is, for 3 years, or about 2.5 years for Cowdery, even though Cowdery wrote down what Joseph Smith said was on the plates, Cowdery never saw the golden plates. In fact, no one's ever seen the golden plates except for Joseph Smith, and they disappeared magically after he died.
Oh, really?
And so there's no one's ever seen him or has witnessed to him except for Joseph Smith Jr. That's why I have a lot of skepticism when you can't produce even the golden plates upon which they were written, or anything substance. You're out in the woods, you get an angel, you have God the Father and God the Son appear to you. No one else is there to witness it. Golden plates, you have Moroni come to your bedside. All of them, none of them ever happened with other people around, it seemed like. On May 15, 1829, while Smith and Cowdery was translating the plates, heaven could no longer restrain its joy. So John the Baptist came in person with orders to confer the Aaronic priesthood upon them. This amazing event is recorded in the Pearl of Great Price. You can see where it's recorded. But basically, they say John the Baptist came down and basically gave them and anointed them and baptized them. And they were then to carry on the role of like Aaron, the priest, who was Moses. If you know your Bible, Aaron was Moses' brother. He was the priest to the Israelites and the great religious leader. Moses was more like the religious political leader. But Aaron was chiefly to take care of the temple and different things. And so they say they now carry on the Aaronic priesthood and not anybody else in the Christian church or Jewish faith or anything like that. Joseph Smith completed the translation for the golden plates in 1830, and the first edition of the Book of Mormon was first published that year as well. On April 6, 1830, the prophet Joseph Smith, along with his brother Hiram and Samuel, those two brothers, and his friend Oliver Cowdery, the scribe, and Whitmer's, officially founded the new religious society entitled the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So that's when it officially began. The new religion began in New York, but quickly moved to Kirtland, Ohio. And just to be honest, history says the reason why it happened is because people in New York knew Joseph Smith Jr. to be someone who exaggerated a lot, lied a lot, and was kind of a scam artist. And so people in New York didn't buy it, so they moved to Ohio and the Missouri area. And the new religion was embraced. And within 6 years, they had about 1,600 followers. While in Missouri, Joseph Smith Jr. purchased 63 acres, which he deemed to be holy ground. This is kind of interesting. Smith believes that when Jesus comes back, he will build his new temple of Zion on that land in Missouri. And this place will be the headquarters for Jesus' new kingdom. Our Bible teaches that when Jesus comes back, the new Jerusalem is going to come out of heaven. It's going to land where the old Jerusalem was. It's going to be a city that's 1,200 miles wide, 1,200 miles long, and 1,200 miles high.
That's pretty big.
Huge. Huge. I mean, our Empire State Building dwarfs it. It's not even a mile high, not even half a mile, I don't think. So it's going to be a huge, huge city, and that's going to be the new capital.